Today we'll explore the idea of an electric circuit and what are the different components that go into making an electric circuit. So in general, if I ask you to make an electric circuit using certain objects, like say for example, you use a battery. Okay, so a plus and a minus and a 1.5 volt battery, and you have been given some wires and a bulb. Okay, so there is a electric bulb. Okay, and let us say you have also been given a switch. You've also been given a switch, and this is a peculiar kind of a switch. You will identify how it works as a switch, but basically it's what is known as a plug key. These are two metal blocks, okay, with connectors, and there is a metal piece that fits into this. Okay, so this is a battery, a bulb, and a plug key, which works as a switch. So now you have been given some wires to connect this and make this work. When you come to school, you will actually do this task. Go to the laboratory and I'll give you this equipment and I'll ask you to connect these together. It's one of the first simple tasks that you do. So what you will do is you will connect the battery's positive terminal to, let's say, one side of the switch. Okay, and then you will connect the other side of the switch to one part of the bulb. Okay, the bulb usually has a holder, but I'll show it to you in this way. And then the other side of the battery is connected to the other side of the bulb. So the bulb is a little bit, you have to figure it out. Like one part of it is the ribbed section, the one in which you have the the threading going, and the bottom part of it is the one in which you have the other terminal. Okay, so there are two terminals to the bulb. You can't just connect a bulb in any way, and it's surprising how many people do not know that about the bulb. Okay, so that is the reason why I ask people to do it, and I put people in teams, because what you have to do is, for the bulb you have to hold it with your hand. Okay, and since this is just a 1.5 volt battery, that's not a problem. So one person holds the wires over here. Plug key is not a problem. There's a screw, so you put the wire in it and you tighten it and then it works. And when you do that and you connect it, and of course the battery is a new battery or it has sufficient voltage in it, then you find that the bulb will light up, but not yet, because in this position it's not going to work. You have to put the plug key, plunge it in. Okay, and when you do that, the bulb will light up. So now you have an electric circuit. Okay, and that's where this comes in. The circuit means that in this circuit, when you make the connection, the electricity can flow, right, between the wires. And there is a constant current that is going through, and as long as the current is going through, the bulb will light up. So you have a circuit. Now the thing is that this is a very simple circuit. You just have three components and 3 bits of wire. So this is not a complicated thing to show even diagrammatically like this. But the thing is that circuits tend to be fairly complex. Circuits can be pretty complicated, right? And when you have more and more complicated circuits, you cannot always draw the components and show them. So that is the reason why we have codified the components, and we have said that the components can be shown as symbols. We don't need to draw the components every time. We can just show the components as symbols. So we made symbols for all the different components. So for the battery, we have a actually, rather than battery, we should put a cell. So the cell, the component is shown like this. Okay, so that's a universal symbol for a cell. A battery will be many cells put together. So that usually we show it like this. Okay, so this is a battery and this is a cell. And in general, the longer line is considered the positive terminal and the shorter line is considered as the negative terminal. Okay. And then you have the bulb. A bulb or any other device, like a motor, say for example, they are all usually denoted by this symbol. Okay, so bulb is shown as a circle with a X inside it, and a switch is usually shown like this. So it's a line, 45-degree line going up like that, and another line going like this. Okay. Now, one thing to know is that these are all static symbols. Okay. So the thing is that sometimes people make this mistake. They think, okay, this is a switch which seems to be off, because when it's like that, it's disconnected, right? So it's a switch which is off. So if you have to show a switch which is on, do you show it like this? Okay, not necessarily. Actually, it need not be shown in this way, because a circuit symbol is not a dynamic thing, it's a static thing. It is understood that you say when it is off, this is what happens, and when it is on, this is what that happens, but you don't have to show it as two different circuit diagrams. So this is not really required for you to draw in that way. You can show a switch like this, whether it is on or it is off. So now you draw the same circuit that you have made over here as a circuit involving these symbols. Okay, and it simply becomes something like this. You can put a battery, you can put a switch and the device, and that's done. Okay, so the ease is very clear over here. Instead of drawing all these components, okay, this kind of tends to look nice because you can see what these components are. But since it's a simple circuit, it is possible to do this. But many people may appreciate that there is a certain simplicity to drawing a circuit in that manner, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and it adequately represents what's going to happen in this circuit. So that is the advantage of having a circuit diagram with specific symbols for specific components. So all these things are called as components, and that when you put components together, you get a circuit diagram. So are there any questions that you want to ask about them?